At the end of fear, there's beauty. Us as people, we have to be able to control our minds. You only lose if you quit. Remember that. You got to commit to not quitting. I believe in you. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Rodney Hunter. I just wanted to touch base on a few key points today that I feel are very important, right? My mom had me when she was 14, right? We grew up in I don't think it was a bad neighborhood, but some would call it a poverty-stricken or violent neighborhood at times. But not all things were bad and not all things were good. But growing up in our neighborhood, it taught me a lot. It shaped me. It molded me. It created some hunger, right? And I want to talk a little bit about culture. You see, when you grow up in a certain environment, that's what you'll adapt to, right? And what I mean by that is, I'm from Middletown, Ohio. I know sports, basketball, football. That's what we did in our neighborhood where I grew up. That was big, right? Now, if I had the same mom, same people around me, but we all were accustomed to the Chinese culture, meaning we all grew up in China, or we all grew up in Mexico, right? Our thinking would be different. It would probably be football as in soccer, or baseball, right? Because that's our culture, right? That's what we're used to. That's what we're accustomed to. That's our comfort zone. Growing up, I was taught, you're going to go to school, play basketball, get you an education, get out of school, get you a job. That's cool, right? Nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all, right? But that dream was placed upon me at a young age because that was our culture. That was our upbringing. That's what we were taught. That's what we were told we had to do in order to be successful, right? But what I want for you to do is to step out of your comfort zone. Really think about what it is that you want to do, right? Know who you are, not what everybody else around you is telling you that you need to be or what you have to be, right? I went my whole life thinking that I had to do what everybody else told me that I had to do up until I was roughly 14 or 15, right? Now, when I say that, I mean, in my neighborhood, like I said before, it wasn't all bad, it wasn't all good. But we had some rough times, some growing pains. My mom was young, she was growing up. We was like brother and sister. You'll hear me say that time after time. She was growing up, she was learning, right? Just like any of us, when we growing up, we learn, we make mistakes, we fix it and we get better. Fortunately, see, I want to say unfortunately, because that's what a lot of us do. We say, unfortunately, I had to go through. No. Fortunately, I had the grand opportunity to go through and grow up with my mom and learn different things. My mom kept it real with me. She didn't shield me from anything. And it helped me, right? It helped me to form me into me, right? And what I mean by that is, there was times when I can remember vividly standing in the kitchen and the lights go off, right? I can remember, like I said, it wasn't all bad, it wasn't all good, but I can remember when food was low, right? You had to eat the ramen noodles. It was good, but we had to eat the ramen noodles, right? You see, when you poor, you don't realize you poor, right? And there's nothing wrong with starting at a certain point. But there's definitely nothing wrong with wanting more. So I don't want to put anybody in a situation. But for me, I wanted more than that, and I learned early that I want more. I'm going to strive for something different. I want to be my own boss. I don't want to be the traditional, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to hoop. I hooped in high school, I was decent, right? I went to school, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to hoop, yada, 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 yada. I was so fixated on that at one point that I didn't even know, okay, when basketball over, what am I going to do, right? What am I going to do? I really don't want to go to the NBA. I'm just playing, I'm going to go to college because nobody in my family has ever went to college, right? So I had that goal because that's what was told to me. Nobody's ever went to college. You'll be the first one. You're smart. You can play basketball. You'll get a scholarship. Blah, 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 blah. So fast forward time, right? Mind you, about 15, 16 years old, I made a decision that I'm going to be my own boss. I'm not going to work for what I call the 40-40-40 rule, where I'm going to work for 40 hours a week, work for 40 years of my life, and hope that someone pays me $40,000 a year. I made a decision that I was going to control my own destiny, right? So I'm going to school because this is what somebody else told me that I had to do. I'm going to school, and I'm realizing that, I want to be my own boss, so I probably should major in business or marketing or something along those lines, right? So I'm there on account of what people told me that I had to do. People told me what I needed to do in order to be successful. People that aren't business owners, right? So I get through my first quarter of school, and I make a conscious decision that this isn't me. This isn't what I want for me, right? Yes, I want to be a business owner. It'd be nice to have a degree, but the people around me who were teaching me business were working for someone else. Now, I'm not knocking them by any means, but my thought process was, how are you going to teach me to get to where I want to be if you're not where I want to be? You see, I had to know who I was. I had to figure out who I was. I'm going to be a business owner. So I made a conscious decision at that moment that I'm going to drop out of school, find somebody who have what I want, do what they did, and I'll get what they got, right? When I did that, people say, man, you're stupid, man. If I were you, I wouldn't do that. But my reply was, you're not me, and I'm not you, right? So I can't expect you to understand my train of thought, right? I'm not going to allow your decision making anymore to determine where I'm going to go with my life. It's my dream, not yours, so I can't expect you to understand my dream, right?